There will come a day when the mirror stops lying to you. You'll wake up one morning and realize that time didn't pause for your excuses. The opportunities you ignored, the potential you buried, the relationships you neglected, they won't be there anymore. And in that moment, when silence wraps around your regrets like a shroud, you'll ask yourself a brutal question: what if I had just gotten serious a little earlier? Now let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were drifting through life, watching yourself make the same mistakes over and over again, knowing you need to change but not doing it? Do you ever hear a quiet voice at night whispering, "This isn't who you were meant to be"? That voice is the last warning before the storm. Because the truth most people don't want to face is this: you are either fixing your life or you are slowly destroying it. There is no neutral. And if you're not careful, you'll run out of chances to become the person you were born to be. You see, life doesn't send warnings with flashing red lights. It sends them quietly in failed relationships, missed opportunities, sleepless nights, and a soul that grows heavier with each wasted day. But here's the good news. You still have time. Not forever, not unlimited chances, but enough. Enough to pivot, enough to rebuild, enough to say, this is where it ends and this is where I begin. So tonight, I'm not here to inspire you. I'm here to wake you up, to shake you out of the comfort zone that's quietly killing you. Because whether you realize it or not, you're not just living your life. You're building your legacy brick by brick, choice by choice. And it's time to pick up the tools and fix yourself before it's too late. There is a force more powerful than any external circumstance, more influential than wealth or status, more decisive than luck or fate. That force is your mind. The thoughts you allow to occupy your consciousness are the invisible architects of your destiny. Before a skyscraper reaches for the sky, before a masterpiece comes alive on canvas, before any success is realized in the world, it all begins with a single thought. Your life, as it stands today, is the direct result of the thoughts you have harbored over time. Every joy, every struggle, every triumph, and every setback can be traced back to what you believed, what you imagined, and what you accepted as true in your mind. This is no coincidence. It is a natural law, one that operates whether you are aware of it or not. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. Imagine for a moment the power of a seed. Small and unassuming, it carries within it the blueprint for an entire tree. If the seed is planted in fertile soil and nurtured, it grows strong and tall, bearing fruit and providing shade. But if the seed is left to rot or is placed in barren earth, it never fulfills its potential. Your mind is that seed, and your thoughts are the soil and water that determine whether you thrive or wither. The question you must ask yourself is this: what kind of soil am I planting in my mind? Are my thoughts rich with hope, purpose, and confidence, or are they polluted with doubt, fear, and negativity? The moment you realize that your mind is your greatest asset and also your greatest liability is the moment you reclaim control over your life. Many people walk through their days unaware of the toxic thoughts they entertain, allowing them to fester unchecked. Thoughts like, I am not good enough, I will never succeed, or this is just how my life is, become invisible chains binding them to mediocrity and failure. Yet these thoughts are not facts, they are choices. You have the power to change them, to replace them with beliefs that empower you rather than weaken you. Consider the stories of those who have risen from the ashes of adversity to greatness. What set them apart was not luck or talent alone, but a relentless commitment to nurturing a mindset of possibility. They refused to accept limiting thoughts as truth. Instead, they cultivated mental gardens of ambition, faith, and resilience. They understood that the mind is like a magnet attracting circumstances and people that match its dominant vibration. You might ask, How do I begin to change these thoughts? The process starts with awareness. You must become a vigilant guardian of your mind, catching the negative and self-defeating ideas the moment they arise. Awareness is the first step in interrupting the automatic thought patterns that have held you captive. When you catch a thought that says, I can't, replace it deliberately with, I will find a way. When fear whispers, this is too hard, counter it with, I am stronger than this challenge. But awareness alone is not enough. The mind craves repetition and emotion. You must feed your new thoughts with feeling and consistency until they take root and grow strong. Visualization is a powerful tool here. Picture yourself succeeding, living the life you desire, overcoming obstacles with confidence. Let that image flood your senses, planting seeds of faith deep within your subconscious. Faith is not blind hope. It is the confident expectation of what is possible when your thoughts align with your purpose. When you hold a clear vision of what you want and believe in its inevitability, you engage a force that moves the universe to make a way for you. Your mind, charged with this faith, begins to orchestrate your actions, your decisions, and your relationships toward that end. Of course, the mind can also be your greatest enemy if left unchecked. Negative thoughts, when repeated, become self-fulfilling prophecies. They create mental roadblocks, drain your energy, and cloud your judgment. You might find yourself stuck in cycles of worry, anger, or despair, not because your circumstances demand it, but because your mind has been trained to expect failure. Breaking free from this destructive cycle requires discipline. Just as a gardener prunes dead branches to encourage healthy growth, you must prune your thoughts daily. This means rejecting gossip, negative influences, and self-pity. It means cultivating gratitude, optimism, and self-respect. It means feeding your mind with positive affirmations and ideas that build confidence and courage. The transformation begins when you realize that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the master of your thoughts. The moment you decide to take responsibility for what you allow into your mind, you become unstoppable. The architect of your life is not fate or luck. It is your own persistent, deliberate thinking. So the question is, no longer can I change my life, but rather, what thoughts will I choose to build with today? Because every thought is a brick, every belief is a foundation, and every mental image is a blueprint for your future. When you take control of this process, you do not just change your mind, you change your entire destiny. There is a moment in every person's life when the truth becomes unavoidable, a moment when the realization dawns that no one else will come to save you. Not your family, not your friends, not your circumstances, and certainly not fate. The harsh reality is that your life in its current state is a direct result of the choices you have made and the actions you have taken or failed to take. Waiting for a savior is an illusion, a comforting but dangerous escape from the responsibility that rightfully belongs to you. Many people fall into the trap of believing that external forces will rescue them from their struggles. They hope for a miracle, a break, a lucky opportunity, or someone to intervene and fix what seems broken. This mindset creates a passive existence, one where life happens to them rather than because of them. It breeds disappointment and frustration because when the expected savior fails to appear, the feelings of helplessness and despair deepen. The moment you accept that no one is coming to save you is the moment you take the first step toward true freedom and power. It is a powerful and often uncomfortable awakening, but it is necessary. You alone have the ability to transform your life. No one else can do it for you, and anyone who tells you otherwise is selling you a lie. Taking personal responsibility means recognizing that you are the captain of your ship, steering it through calm and stormy seas alike. You may not control the weather, the waves, or the port you aim for, but you do control the rudder and the sails. It is your decisions, your attitude, and your persistence that determine whether you reach your destination or drift aimlessly. It is easy to blame others, the boss who never appreciates your work, the circumstances that seem unfair, the people who have hurt you, or the opportunities you never receive. But blame is a poison that robs you of your power. It places your happiness, your progress, and your peace of mind in the hands of forces beyond your control. When you blame, you relinquish your authority and become a victim of circumstance. Victimhood is a trap because it convinces you that change is impossible unless something external changes first. But the truth is, the only change you can guarantee is the change you make within yourself. When you stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems, you begin to see opportunities where before you saw obstacles. You start to understand that every difficulty contains within it the seeds of growth and success. The journey of personal responsibility is not easy. It requires courage to look in the mirror and admit where you have fallen short. It requires humility to accept your mistakes and learn from them. It requires discipline to take action even when you don't feel motivated or when the road ahead looks uncertain. But these qualities build strength and character that no external force can provide. When you embrace responsibility, you shift from being a passive observer of your life to becoming an active creator of your destiny. You start to ask the questions that matter. What can I do differently? How can I improve? What habits are holding me back? What mindset do I need to adopt to move forward? These questions spark change because they focus your energy on solutions instead of problems. Moreover, taking responsibility means recognizing your role in every relationship and situation. It means seeing how your words, your actions, and your attitudes impact those around you. This awareness empowers you to become a better partner, friend, colleague, or leader. You no longer wait for others to change, but model the change you want to see. It also means becoming accountable to yourself. Setting clear goals and holding yourself to high standards is a vital part of personal responsibility. When you make promises to yourself, whether it's to wake up early, to pursue your dreams relentlessly, or to cultivate healthier habits, you strengthen your integrity. This inner strength becomes a foundation that supports you through challenges and setbacks. Understand that responsibility is not a burden, it is a privilege. It is the key that unlocks your potential and opens doors to freedom. When you own your life completely, you stop giving away your power and start reclaiming it. You become unstoppable because your success is no longer dependent on luck or the actions of others. It is rooted in your own will and determination. There is a profound satisfaction that comes from knowing you are the author of your story. You can rewrite the chapters that have been painful, change the narrative that has held you back, and create a future that aligns with your highest aspirations. This power is yours for the taking, but only if you stop waiting and start acting. Every great achievement in history was accomplished by someone who refused to wait for a savior. They faced adversity head-on, took responsibility for their circumstances, and committed to relentless action. They understood that the road to success is paved with personal accountability, and that the moment you stop blaming and start building is the moment everything changes. If you are still waiting for someone else to fix your problems or rescue you from your situation, realize that the clock is ticking. The longer you wait, the more time slips away, time that can never be reclaimed. But the moment you decide to take responsibility, you ignite a powerful force within you, a force that propels you toward growth, healing, and triumph. You have everything you need inside. The strength, the wisdom, the courage, it's all there, waiting for you to claim it. No one else can do it for you. The path to transformation begins when you step forward and say, I am responsible for my life, and I will no longer wait for someone else to save me. In that declaration, you will find freedom, power, and the beginning of a life truly worth living. In the vast landscape of life, direction is everything. Without a clear and definite purpose, a person drifts like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave and current, unsure of where they are headed or why. The absence of purpose creates a kind of paralysis, a slow descent into confusion and frustration. Without a target to aim for, you expend energy but gain little progress. This wandering is the root of much unhappiness and failure because it leaves the individual disconnected from their true potential and powerless in the face of life's challenges. Purpose is the anchor that grounds you, the beacon that guides you through storms, and the engine that fuels relentless effort. When you have definiteness of purpose, you are no longer a passive participant in your own life. Instead, you become a force of nature, focused and unstoppable. This clarity shapes your thoughts, aligns your actions, and organizes your habits. It transforms scattered energy into powerful momentum. Consider the difference between someone who wakes up each day with a clear mission and someone who drifts aimlessly from one task to the next. The person with purpose may encounter obstacles, but they see each difficulty as a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. Their daily choices are deliberate and meaningful. The wanderer, on the other hand, is often overwhelmed, distracted, and exhausted by the lack of clear direction. They may work hard, but their efforts seldom accumulate into lasting success. Definiteness of purpose is not merely about having goals. It is about having one central, dominant aim that drives everything you do. This purpose becomes the central focus of your mind, the filter through which you evaluate every opportunity, decision, and relationship. When your purpose is clear, your mind rejects distractions and fears because you know exactly what you want and why you want it. This confidence eliminates doubt and hesitation. The first step in cultivating definiteness of purpose is to dig deep and ask yourself what truly matters. What is the one thing you are passionate about? What is the legacy you want to leave behind? What kind of life do you want to live? These questions demand honesty because the answer is often buried beneath layers of societal expectations, fear, or past failures. It takes courage to strip away the noise and discover your authentic aim. Once identified, your definite purpose must be written down and reviewed daily. This act imprints the goal on your subconscious mind and conditions your thoughts to work in harmony with your objective. Writing it down transforms an abstract desire into a concrete plan. It also acts as a commitment, a promise you make to yourself that you will persist until this goal is achieved. Purpose alone, however, is not enough without action. Definiteness of purpose demands that you organize your life around this central aim. Every habit, every relationship, and every choice should be measured against whether it brings you closer to your goal or pulls you away. This kind of discipline creates a life of coherence and harmony where energy is conserved and directed rather than wasted. The power of definiteness of purpose also lies in its ability to summon persistence. When your purpose is crystal clear, giving up is no longer an option. Setbacks and failures become mere tests of your resolve. You learn to view failure as feedback, not defeat. This mindset is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who merely dream about it. Moreover, having a definite purpose brings a sense of meaning to your efforts. Life's struggles become easier to bear when you know that every step you take is part of a larger plan. This meaning creates resilience, motivation, and even joy because your actions align with your deepest values. You stop asking why bother and instead ask what can I do next? Without definiteness of purpose, life can feel like a constant series of random events, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but never truly connected. People often fall into this trap because they are afraid to commit or unsure of what they want. They may try to please others, follow trends, or chase momentary pleasures, but these paths lead only to confusion and dissatisfaction because they lack the magnetic power of a clear personal mission. Having a definite purpose also influences the people you attract and the opportunities you encounter. Like a lighthouse guiding ships safely to shore, your focused energy draws to you the resources, relationships, and ideas that support your vision. When you are clear about what you want, You unconsciously communicate that clarity to the world, and the world responds in kind. It is important to recognize that your definite purpose can evolve. Life is a journey, and as you grow and learn, your goals may shift. But the principle remains, at any given time, you must have a clear, dominant aim. Without this, your mind wanders, your motivation fades, and your potential remains unrealized. This is why many people who achieve extraordinary success attribute it to the clarity of their purpose. Their goal was so vivid, so compelling, that it gave them the strength to endure hardship, the focus to avoid distractions, and the passion to keep moving forward when others gave up. Their lives became living proof of the power of definiteness of purpose. So often, the difference between failure and success is not talent or luck, but the simple fact that one person knew exactly what they wanted and was willing to do whatever it took to get it. The other was unsure and scattered, hoping for success to come by chance rather than design. When you adopt a definite purpose, you take control of your destiny, you stop drifting and start driving. In the end, your purpose is more than just a goal. It is the foundation of your identity, the compass that directs your decisions, and the fuel for your perseverance. Without it, life becomes a vague and unfulfilled experience. With it, every moment gains meaning, every challenge becomes a stepping stone, and every day is an opportunity to move closer to the life you were meant to live. Self-discipline is the silent architect behind every success story and the quiet starter behind every failure. It is not a flashy quality, nor is it something easily recognized in the moment. But over time, it is the invisible thread that weaves the fabric of your life. The habits you form and the disciplines you maintain shape your character, your health, your relationships, and ultimately your destiny. Your life in every aspect is a mirror reflecting what you do repeatedly. This is the undeniable truth that separates those who achieve greatness from those who merely dream about it. Every day, you make hundreds of choices, some small, some significant, but it is the accumulation of these choices that determines the course of your life. The actions you take each morning, the way you respond to challenges, how you manage your time, the thoughts you entertain, and the habits you nurture all add up. If these daily actions are aligned with your goals and values, your life grows richer, more fulfilling, and closer to the vision you hold for yourself. If they are careless, inconsistent, or negative, your life will reflect that imbalance. Many people underestimate the power of habits because they are so routine and often invisible. Yet habits are the engines that drive your daily existence. Good habits require effort and self-discipline in the beginning, but over time they become automatic, like the turning of gears in a well-oiled machine. Bad habits, on the other hand, also become automatic, but lead you away from your goals, draining your energy and undermining your potential. Self-discipline is the force that enables you to create positive habits and break free from destructive ones. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It is choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasure, staying focused on your purpose instead of yielding to distractions. Self-discipline means saying no to procrastination, excuses, and complacency, and saying yes to persistence, effort, and sacrifice. Developing self-discipline is not about being perfect or rigid. It is about consistency and commitment. It is about making a decision day after day, moment after moment, to act in alignment with your goals. This is where many people stumble. They wait for motivation or inspiration to strike before they act. But motivation is fleeting and unreliable. Self-discipline is the bridge that carries you across when motivation fades. One of the most effective ways to strengthen self-discipline is through the power of routines. When you establish a daily routine that supports your goals, you reduce the need for willpower because your actions become automatic. For example, if you decide to exercise every morning at the same time over weeks and months, it becomes a natural part of your day. This routine builds momentum and confidence, reinforcing your belief that you can achieve what you set out to do. Equally important is the practice of deliberate habit formation. Instead of trying to change everything at once, focus on one habit at a time. Make it small enough to be manageable, but meaningful enough to make a difference. As that habit takes root, add another. Over time, these small habits compound into significant transformations. This concept is often overlooked, yet it is the foundation of lasting change. Conversely, breaking bad habits requires awareness and determination. You must recognize the triggers that lead to unwanted behaviors and develop strategies to avoid or replace them. This process is uncomfortable but essential. Every time you overcome the urge to indulge in a bad habit, you strengthen your self-discipline muscle. You prove to yourself that you are in control, not your impulses. It is also crucial to understand that self-discipline is intimately connected with your mindset. If you view discipline as punishment or deprivation, it becomes harder to maintain. But if you see it as a path to freedom, freedom from chaos, regret, and wasted potential, it becomes empowering. Discipline is not about denying yourself. It is about giving yourself the gift of control over your destiny. The consequences of lacking self-discipline are visible in every area of life. Poor health, financial instability, broken relationships, and unrealized dreams often trace back to inconsistent habits and a failure to follow through. Success, on the other hand, rarely happens by chance. It is earned through thousands of small decisions made with intention and resolve. The great achievers throughout history have understood this principle deeply. Their success was rarely the result of talent alone, but of persistent effort and disciplined action. They showed up when others quit, worked when others rested, and focused when others were distracted. Their lives reflect the power of repeated, intentional action aligned with a clear purpose. Your environment also plays a significant role in supporting or undermining your self-discipline. Surrounding yourself with positive influences, creating spaces that encourage good habits, and minimizing temptations can make it easier to stay on track. Discipline is not solely an internal battle. It is shaped by the context in which you live and work. At its core, self-discipline is a choice, a daily commitment to yourself and your future. It is an act of faith in your ability to grow, to overcome, and to succeed. It is the willingness to delay gratification today so you can enjoy greater rewards tomorrow. The rewards of discipline are not always immediate, but they are profound and lasting. When you embrace self-discipline and build empowering habits, you lay the foundation for a life of achievement and fulfillment. You gain confidence, resilience, and a sense of purpose. You become someone who acts with intention, who perseveres through adversity, and who ultimately controls their own destiny. Your life in all its dimensions becomes a testament to the power of what you do repeatedly, not occasionally or occasionally, but every single day.